Northern Australia covers over 1.3 million square kilometers. That's larger than France, Germany, and the United Kingdom combined. And yet, almost no one lives here. Just 250,000 people occupy this entire region. Less than 1% of Australia's population, spread across a landmass most countries would kill to own. So what's stopping them? Is it the 7-meter crocodiles that can memorize your daily routine? The jellyfish that can kill you before you even see it? Or something buried even deeper? In the soil, the storms, and the silence of a land that has rejected almost every attempt to tame it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why one of Earth's largest habitable regions has stayed almost completely empty, and why the few who do live here call it home anyway. Let's get into it. This isn't a place with bad weather. It's a place with two extremes and nothing in between. Most of the world lives with 4 seasons. Northern Australia doesn't. Here, there are really only 2. Brutal drought and a wet season so intense it reshapes the land every single year. When the monsoon arrives, temperatures climb past 40 degrees Celsius, while humidity sits between 80 and 90%. That's not just hot. It's the kind of heat that makes your own body a liability. Sweat stops evaporating. The air feels like a wet towel pressed against your skin. Simple tasks, walking, working, even sleeping, become exhausting. Now picture trying to build a life in that. A farm, a school, a hospital, a road that doesn't wash away every wet season. This alone explains part of the mystery, but it's only the beginning. Let's talk numbers. Northern Australia, technically the Northern Territory, spans roughly 1.35 million square kilometers. Its population, around 250,000 people. That's fewer people than a single mid-sized European city, scattered across a landmass the size of a small continent. Do the math, and you get a population density of about 0.17 people per square kilometer. For comparison, Monaco packs in over 26,000 people into the same space. Northern Australia is, quite literally, one of the emptiest inhabited places on the planet. But emptiness like this isn't random. It's earned, the result of millions of years of geological punishment. Even if you could survive the heat, the ground itself is working against you. For millions of years, this region has been hammered by heavy monsoon rains and relentless sunlight. Over time, that combination has stripped the topsoil of almost everything a farmer needs. The result is soil that is acidic, nutrient-poor, and almost hostile to large-scale agriculture. Throughout human history, dense populations grow where food grows. Rivers, fertile plains, workable soil, that's where cities rise. Northern Australia offers none of that at scale. No thriving agriculture means no surplus food. No surplus food means no population boom. And no population boom means the towns here stay small, scattered, and far apart. And here's the twist that makes it worse. This is a region that receives enormous amounts of rain and still can't hold on to it. This land gets flooded every year and somehow still runs dry. During the wet season, rainfall records here can be staggering. You'd expect that much water to solve every problem. It doesn't. The underlying geology of the region makes long-term water storage almost impossible. Around 90% of that rainwater simply runs straight off the land and out into the ocean, disappearing before anyone can use it. Then the dry season arrives, and the rivers that raged just months earlier shrink into cracked, dusty beds. Fresh water, the single most basic requirement for any settlement, becomes scarce again, like clockwork, every single year. So picture this cycle. Extreme heat that makes daily life exhausting. Soil that can't sustain farming, floods that vanish before they can be stored. This is a land that gives you just enough to survive and takes back everything else. It's not that people haven't tried to build here. It's that the land itself keeps saying no. But climate and geography are only the opening act. Because even in the one city where people did manage to build something lasting, nature had other plans. On paper, this is Australia's most dangerous city, and it earned that title in a single night. Darwin, the capital of the Northern Territory, holds a grim distinction. It's officially considered Australia's most dangerous city, based on the sheer number of natural disasters per capita. And there's one night in its history that explains exactly why. It was Christmas Eve, 1974. While most of the country slept, a cyclone named Tracy was closing in on Darwin from the Arafura Sea. Nobody in the city that night could have imagined what was coming. Wind speeds reached 217 kilometers per hour, the highest ever officially recorded before the measuring instrument itself broke under the pressure. Meteorologists estimate the real peak gusts exceeded 300 kilometers per hour. To put that in perspective, that's faster than a Formula One race car at full speed. Except this wasn't confined to a track. It was tearing through homes, streets, and lives. Roofs didn't just come loose. They were ripped away like sheets of paper. By the time the storm passed, 70% of Darwin's infrastructure was destroyed. 90% of homes were left uninhabitable. An entire city gone in a matter of hours. What happened next was the largest evacuation in Australian history. Out of 47,000 residents, 30,000 had to be evacuated, flown out on military aircraft because no other infrastructure remained standing. It remains the largest forced evacuation in the country's history. For a moment, Darwin effectively stopped existing. And yet, people came back. The city was rebuilt from the ground up, and today it stands again, fully aware that a storm like Tracy isn't a freak accident. It's a recurring risk. Darwin sits in a zone where tropical cyclones form on a regular basis, and every wet season carries the same quiet, unspoken threat. Locals here don't just know the evacuation procedures. They've memorized them, the way the rest of us memorize a morning routine. This is the pattern you'll see again and again in Northern Australia. Nature doesn't ask permission, and it doesn't wait for a second chance. Now, if you think the sky and the soil are the biggest threats here, you're about to find out you're wrong. Because underneath Northern Australia's rivers, hiding in plain sight, is a predator that doesn't attack out of instinct. It plans. Before we get into that, hit subscribe now, because what's coming up in the next few minutes is some of the most unsettling wildlife footage and facts you'll see all year. Let's continue.
This predator has outlived the dinosaurs, and it hasn't needed to change a single thing about how it hunts. Meet the saltwater crocodile. Crocodilus porosus and the largest living reptile on the planet. They can grow up to 7 meters long and weigh as much as 1,000 kilograms. That's a full ton of living predator. Engineered by evolution to near perfection, these animals survived the mass extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs. While countless species vanished, the crocodile's design simply worked, and it still works today. Around 100,000 of them now inhabit Northern Australia's rivers, swamps, and estuaries. And they're not confined to fresh water. Saltwater crocodiles have been tracked hundreds of kilometers out into the open ocean, crossing between islands most people assume are far too distant for any crocodile to reach. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. A crocodile can hold its breath for up to 2 hours. It can lie motionless on a riverbed, watching you swim, completely invisible, for the entire time you're in the water. And scientists have found something even stranger. These crocodiles don't hunt purely on instinct. They observe. They've been recorded watching the same stretch of riverbank for days before striking, learning the exact times people return to the water's edge, and waiting for that precise moment. This isn't blind aggression. It's calculated patience. But the deadliest creature in northern Australia isn't the one with teeth. Along the northern coastline lives something far smaller and far more lethal. The box jellyfish, Chironex fleckeri, is considered the most venomous marine creature known to science. A single specimen carries enough venom to kill dozens of people. Victims describe the pain as instant and unbearable, like being branded with hot metal along every inch of contact. Without immediate treatment, cardiac arrest can occur within minutes. And here's the terrifying part. This creature is almost completely transparent. In open water, you may not see it until it's already too late. Its bell reaches around 30 centimeters, but its tentacles can stretch up to 3 meters, an invisible net drifting silently with the current. Beaches across the region close from October to May, every single year because of it. But even that isn't the smallest threat in these waters. The Irukandji jellyfish is roughly the size of a thumbnail, nearly impossible to spot. Its sting doesn't hurt immediately. The real agony, known as Irukandji syndrome, arrives about 30 minutes later. Bringing excruciating pain and blood, pressure spikes severe enough to require emergency hospitalization. Two creatures, both nearly invisible, both hiding in water that looks completely calm and safe. This looks like an ordinary garden plant. Touching it can hurt you for the rest of your life. On land, the danger doesn't disappear. It just changes shape. The jimpy plant, Dendrochnide moroides, grows up to 3 meters tall with soft, unassuming leaves that look completely harmless. They're not. Those leaves are covered in microscopic, needle-like hairs that inject toxin directly into the skin on contact. The pain isn't brief. It can last for months, sometimes years. Some victims have reported the sharp, burning sensation returning 20 to 30 years after the original contact. Triggered simply by cold water or cold air, horses that brushed against it have reportedly been driven into a frenzy of pain. Even dried, fallen leaves lying on the forest floor remain toxic. Researchers who study this plant do so in thick gloves, goggles, and respirators, because northern Australia doesn't even let its scientists get close without a fight. Then there's the creature that warns you before it kills you. If you know what to look for, in the tidal rock pools along the coast lives the blue-ringed octopus, roughly the size of a tennis ball. At rest, it's almost invisible, a dull brown blur against the rocks. But when it feels threatened, glowing neon blue rings pulse across its body. That's not decoration. That's the last warning you'll get. Its venom contains tetrodotoxin, a neurotoxin that shuts down the muscles, including the ones that let you breathe. Victims remain fully conscious the entire time, unable to move, unable to breathe on their own. There is no antivenom. The only treatment is artificial ventilation, sometimes for hours, until the body clears the toxin on its own, all while the person is awake and aware of everything happening to them. Crocodiles that think, jellyfish you can't see, a plant that can hurt you for decades, an octopus that gives you one glowing warning before it's too late. This is a region where nature hasn't just survived, it's perfected the art of the ambush. And we still haven't gotten to the parts of northern Australia most people are never even allowed to see. This cave system has no road leading to it, and almost no Australian has ever heard of it. 300 kilometers south of Darwin, in the Daly region, lies the Karl to Karst cave system. There's no proper road here, only unpaved, tracks that become completely impassable once the wet season hits. Inside, millions of bats live in near total darkness, including the ghost bat, also known as the false vampire bat, along with several species found nowhere else on Earth. At dusk, they emerge in the thousands per second, a living cloud visible for kilometers, the sound of their wings audible long before you ever see them. But the caves hold something even stranger than the bats. Deep inside some of these chambers, researchers have found traces of human presence dating back thousands of years. Ash marks, stone tools, signs of repeated visits into total darkness, surrounded by millions of bats. Who came here and why remains unknown. This is one of the highest crocodile densities on Earth, and almost no outsider is allowed in to see it. Further east lies Arnhem Land, nearly 97,000 square kilometers, roughly the size of Hungary. This is sovereign indigenous land, and entering it requires a special permit. Most Australians, in their entire lives, will never set foot here. It's also home to some of the most venomous snakes on the planet, including the inland and coastal taipan, along with dense crocodile populations. In 2022, coastal Arnhem Land recorded one of the highest saltwater crocodile densities anywhere in Australia. This is a place where nature was simply left alone, and the result is an ecosystem operating at full, undiluted intensity. The most photographed park in northern Australia turns into one of its deadliest for half the year. Kakadu National Park spans 20,000 square kilometers and holds UNESCO World Heritage status, famous for its golden cliffs and waterfalls. But from November through April, floodwaters rise over a meter deep across the roads, cutting off huge sections of the park entirely. As the water rises, saltwater crocodiles don't stay in the rivers. They spread out into flooded plains, temporary pools, even parking lots. A puddle beside the road might just be a puddle, or it might have a crocodile in it. On top of that, thousands of feral water buffalo, introduced back in the 19th century, have reshaped the park's ecosystem entirely, trampling riverbanks and pushing saltwater into freshwater, systems that took thousands of years to form. Undoing it all in just a few decades. Summer here regularly passes 50 degrees Celsius, and somehow this desert is bursting with life. South of the tropics lies the Red Center, the Simpson and Gibson Deserts, among the largest desert regions in the southern hemisphere. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 50 degrees Celsius, with almost no shade and no visible water for hundreds of kilometers in any direction. And yet Australian deserts host a greater diversity of reptile species than any other desert on Earth. One of the strangest is the thorny devil, a white lizard covered head to tail in spikes, which drinks not through its mouth but through its skin. Moisture from morning dew travels through tiny channels between its scales, directed straight to the corners of its mouth. Nature engineered a living water collection system here, long before humans ever thought to. People don't just get lost here. Some of them are never found. Beyond the desert lies the bush, dense, uniform vegetation with almost no distinguishing landmarks. Without GPS or a compass, it's possible to lose all sense of direction within just a few hours. Every tree looks the same. Every path disappears the moment you stop watching it. In 1998, 5 young hikers lost the trail in Litchfield National Park. 3 were rescued quickly. 2 were found days later, suffering severe dehydration, despite being only a few kilometers from safety the entire time. In 2006, an experienced bushwalker who knew the Kakadu region intimately vanished without explanation. His tracks ended abruptly at a riverbank. No body was ever found. What happened to him has never been officially confirmed. People who understand this land best have been here for 65,000 years, and their knowledge is vanishing. Indigenous Australians have lived across this region for over 65,000 years, 10 times longer than written history has existed, and 30 times longer than the Egyptian pyramids have stood. This is, without exaggeration, the oldest continuous culture on Earth. Over those millennia, they developed something extraordinary. Songlines, sometimes called dreaming tracks. An oral navigation system where entire travel routes across the continent were encoded into song. By learning the song, a person could navigate rivers, rock formations, and water holes across vast distances without ever needing a map. But that knowledge is fading. As elders pass away and younger generations move into cities, an archive of survival knowledge built over 65,000 years is disappearing. Not in a single dramatic night like Cyclone Tracy, but slowly, quietly, one generation at a time. So, why does only 1% of Australia's population live across this entire region? It's not one single answer. It's the heat that never lets up, the soil that won't grow food, the water that won't stay, the predators that watch and wait, the plants that hurt you for decades. and the land itself, which has never once pretended to be safe. Northern Australia doesn't make exceptions for anyone, not for the tourist with a camera, and not for the local who's walked these trails for a lifetime. The only real difference between them is knowledge and respect. And the people who've called this place home for 65,000 years understood that from the very beginning. If this kept you watching until the very end, that alone tells you everything about this land. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.